Hello everybody, I'm Lorenzo Marchessi and I'm here right at the beginning of this video we're about to watch to remind you to subscribe to my channel. It's very helpful if you do, and also please tell your friends, your family members, and share it if you can. Love to hear your comments and feedback, but just want to make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Geek Authority Show. I'm your host, Lorenzo Marchessi, and this is the show where I interview all kinds of people, writers, directors, producers, cosplayers, musicians, publicists, you name it. I've talked to almost various different parts of the entertainment industry, both behind and in front of the camera. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest. I've known her a while. She's a publicist. She's an actress. She does all kinds of amazing things. Her name is Shari Barrett. Welcome, Shari. Thank you for doing this.
Hey, thank you. And I hate to correct you, but it's Shari like Ferrari.
Shari. Okay.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
It happens. It happens all the time. I'm very used to it.
I'm going to tell Michael too, because we've been talking about you this interview today, and we're like, okay, Shari Barrett. I stand corrected.
That's okay.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you a native Los Angelian, or are you from somewhere else? Or
No, I'm one of the rare ones. I was born here. I'm one of those baby boomers, born, more than a few years after World War II, when my parents met here and married here. My mom came from Detroit. My dad came from Chicago, and they
my
met.
hometown.
There you go. And they met at a party here and then married about a year later, and a couple years later, there I was. I was born in California Hospital, which is in downtown Los Angeles. It's still a medical center, but it's not a hospital per se anymore. And it's right off the 10 freeway. I wave to it every time I go by.
Were they in the industry as well, the entertainment world, or?
No, not at all. My dad, when I was born, was working at managing a Rexall drugstore. And then he studied and went into, he became a very famous salesman with Farmers Insurance until he passed away. So he tried to get me to go into the insurance business.
So when did you get the entertainment bug, the acting bug, or?
My mom was always listening to record albums of Broadway shows. She loved musicals, and she really instilled the bug in me. From as long as I can remember, they were going to shows, and then she'd get the record and come home and play it. Flower Drum Song is the first one I remember. South Pacific, all of those, I guess, in the mid to late 50s, when I was, a really little kid. Giving away my age now, but that's okay. I'm proud of it. Hey.
Were you listening to those soundtracks? The Sound of Music and all that as well?
Yeah, all of them. And I remember the first big musical I saw on screen was South Pacific, and it's always been a special place in my heart, South Pacific, because of that. Those who were natives in LA will remember the Laurel Canyon fire, if they were here back then. And I can't even remember what year it was, but we walked out. I went with my aunt and uncle to the movie because I think my mom was pregnant at the time with my sister. But we came out of the movie theater, which is near Wilshire and La Cienega, and the whole sky was black because the canyon fire had broken out while we were in the movie. Those two events are, when you're a little kid and you walk out and the whole sky is black, it was really, At least it wasn't the day after. At least it wasn't when I walked out of War of the Worlds. I would have really thought that
we were being attacked.
that we had been destroyed. That movie scared me as a little kid walking out. I really thought, being in LA, and being a little kid and
seeing you're talking about the original George Pal version, right?
I'm the one that Gene Barry starred in.
Right. Not the Tom Cruise one.
No. No.
It kind of sounds like, do you remember the Universal fire? Because I remember that very well, because looking off my balcony, I could see the whole mountainside on fire at the Universal lot. Did you remember that?
No, I remember that. Sure. I was here. And I remember the Sylmar earthquake in 71. Oh, yeah. I was here. I was like 5 miles south of the epicenter. We had a lot of damage. We had to move out from where we were living at the time. That was scary at 6 a.m.
Okay.
And going from side to side in the joys of, and then the Northridge quake, I was in Santa Monica, and that did a pretty good number too. So, but anyway, yes, I'm a native.
Yeah, that was in 94, and I was in the Valley, and I was really close to it. So yes, when your feet are moving and you're not doing the moving, it's scary.
It's very scary, but as a native, I remember things like the one time that it hailed in West LA, because we always lived on the west side. It was my sister's birthday, like around March 10th one year. So
wow.
It had maybe 1959, 60 in that neighborhood. And it started to hail. We actually could go out and make snowballs with the hail. I've never seen that since.
Wow.
One time. So it's been
anyway. Okay, let's get back. Let's get back to you now. So, okay. When did you get have you always wanted to be an actress and involved with entertainment that way?
It started at age 6 when I was in first grade. And again, my mom had already been playing show tunes and, dancing around while she was cleaning. So I already had that bug in me. But in first grade, our class was assigned to do a short play to show to the rest of the school in our auditorium. We had a big auditorium. And I don't remember what part I played, but I got to wear a jumpsuit, slacks to school, which you didn't do back then. So it was like, and also too, even before then, my birthday is October 26th. So my whole life, from the time I was little, my birthday parties were always costume parties. So I have pictures of me. Oh, I should have sent you them as a gypsy when I was like 4 years old, all decked out, But I continued, my mom continued to, she saw how much I loved doing it, and I'm kind of a natural ham. So she enrolled me in summer programs at Robertson Playground, and I did plays. So, and I was in chorus, so I learned how to sing, and I played the violin, so I learned how to read music. So I got this.
Do you remember your first role, your first, main role, major role?
Ooh. Well, if we want to go to,
are we talking high school, college? Where are we?
My first major role was in right after high school. I was working backstage all through high school. I worked on in my senior year, I worked on Taming of the Shrew backstage, doing makeup and stage managing. And I worked on our big musical, Music Man. I so wanted to play Eulalia McKechnie. I so wanted to play her, but I wound up working backstage. And then right after high school, I was cast in the ensemble of Babes in Arms, which is a lesser known musical. It's got My Funny Valentine in it. It has a lot of really great songs. So that was really my first on stage part that I can remember. And I was like 17 years old.
Wow. So what would you say is like your first, or what would you say is your role that you most treasured to date? Is there a role that was your favorite doing, as well as, experience?
Ooh, boy, there's a couple of them.
Throw them at me.
I really enjoyed when I really enjoyed being in musicals. So those are the ones that are coming to my mind. And I had sent you photos when I was with the Aerospace Players. I did Camelot and I did Once Upon a Mattress.
Oh,
that was really fun. Once Upon a Mattress. It was so much fun. That's when I had on those like rabbit ear things and the big velvet dress, and that, yeah, and Camelot, and then doing Little Shop at Kentwood Players. That was so much fun.
Okay, let's look at some of that. Tell us about this princess here.
Yeah, that one, that's from Camelot. That was for the merry month of May, our big number. And yeah, that was great fun. That was just taking a little shot backstage. Yep. We had several costume changes for that show. And that's when I was a member of the Royal Court. That dress was heavy.
Really? What about the headpiece? Look at the headpiece.
Yeah, the headpiece, it just kind of snapped on my head, and then it had that long veil went halfway down my back.
Right. Is that something you made, or is it something?
No, those were made by the costumer. I think it was Diana Mann made all the costumes. And
wow.
Put them in and fit them and tailored them to us as best she could.
You said it was.
Yeah.
You said it was heavy. Is it like what, carpet material, or what makes it heavy?
It was very heavy velvet, and down the front, it felt like carpet, let me tell you. But it had those great sleeves, it looked really regal on the stage and walking down the aisles to get up there.
Wow. Okay. So, love this one.
Yeah, that was many, many heavier pounds ago and a few years ago, but that was my first real official headshot done by for Aerospace Players to put in their program for their big musicals.
Wow.
So beautiful. I did that. In fact, in my column in the Culver City News, that's my byline photo.
Oh, very nice.
Little Shop, the opening number, Skid Row.
This is the Kentwood Players, right?
This is with Kentwood Players. Yep. Me as the old lady with that old mink stole that had 4 mink heads on it.
Wow. You know what I was thinking, because perfect picture to talk about it is like, because of the pandemic, I haven't seen a live theater show since March. And it's like, don't you miss the experience, either making it or watching it or being part of it? I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's hard.
It's very hard. I did go see, during the pandemic, I went to see March. Which was the show done in the garage under the Gay and Lesbian Center in West Hollywood. And that was actually a live show where you sat in your car and watched it, and the actors were performing in front of you. And it felt so good to be in a live audience again, to be watching the show. But that's really the only live one that I've gone to see during the pandemic. Almost everything else has been online.
Yeah, even movies. I miss popcorn at the movies.
Theaters, yeah. I did movie theaters. Yes, I do miss. There I am.
Did your character have a name or no?
Not really. I was just the old lady in the ensemble. And I played in the scene with the dentist where he attacks.
Right. I saw the show.
Yeah. I played the dental nurse in my white, like a nurse's.
Do you remember what year this was? 2016-ish?
I think 2014.
Yeah. I knew it was a while ago.
There you can see the heads on the minks on that picture.
Right.
I gave them all names. They were Lucy, Desi, Ethel, and Fred.
Okay, this is Mr. Ben Vereen.
Ben Vereen. This is when I go to review shows. I don't often take pictures afterwards with the people who are entertaining, but I'm such a fan of Ben Vereen's. And this, and he welcomed us into his dressing room afterwards and let us pose for pictures with him. So,
Wow.
but I really love I love being a theater reviewer. I really
Me
do.
too. And I miss it. I miss it. Um,
I've been doing a lot of it online, but and they do have talkbacks afterwards where you can interact, but it's not the same. I know, but I still love it. It's just a different form of different kind of art. That's all.
right. And what show was this that he was in?
He did a one-person review at Vitelli's,
Oh, okay.
the little supper club. Oh, this is Once Upon a Mattress. You might notice that's the same dress, but the hat was made for me. It was directed by Michael Anthony Nazai, and all of the ensemble people who then later became part of the court Once Upon a Mattress. We had to take on characters from a fairy tale, take on that persona. So I chose the Duchess with a Pig from Alice in Wonderland. Now, not many people know who she was, but she was not a very nice person who wound up, turning her own child into a pig because it had been crying too much.
Wow.
So Arlene Cohen at Kentwood Players, who is the milliner, made that hat for me, measured my head, made that hat for me. I just love that hat. I wish I could have kept it, but I couldn't.
Right. I'm assuming it kind of it was custom.
She had it all measured, and it just sat down, and she made it so that I could do my little curls, top and bottom. I mean, yeah, it's an actual representation of the hat the Duchess wears in the book.
Wow.
The illustrated book. My interview. This was because Kentwood Players can't be, they do all of their plays and musicals at the Westchester Playhouse, which is now undergoing major renovations to be ready to open again. We finally had the time to really do a new roof and new air conditioning and new heating and filtration. I mean, we're doing everything. When they're ready to open again, it's going to be very safe to go. So online.
That's a good point here. Let's take a moment. What is your involvement with Kentwood Theater they're in LA, right? It's proper LA proper?
It's LA proper, Westchester. Yes. It's an LA, it's an LA zip code. It's a block north of Inglewood, but yes, it's right there. It's near LAX.
Right.
And so I walked in there in 2002 to see my former roommate in a play. And I was immediately drafted thanks to Charlotte Lee Gunter, who is like Miss Kentwood Players, to get involved with them because I had just done 2 summers of Shakespeare in the Park. You have a photo of me as one of the fairies in Midsummer Night's Dream.
What did you do? You're actually on the board, right? Or no?
I am. So after doing that first show, after being there a year, I went on the board as the secretary. And then when the publicity position opened up, I ran for it, and I've been doing it ever since. So I've been doing their publicity from the time just when, the internet was just starting, all the way through now. I still do it now, but now I have a wonderful Samantha Barros doing marketing with me. I had to do it all. I mean, I launched their MySpace page. That's how long ago we're talking.
Wow.
MySpace and Facebook when it first started, to get them online. Now, the publicity person, as it was written, was just in charge of writing press releases and sending them out and doing press kits and getting the reviewers. That's how it's written in the bylaws, and that's what I signed on to do. But as the internet started to explode and give us the opportunity to advertise for free, I just convinced them. It took a little while, but I convinced them. I said, we have to do this. This is a good marketing tool for us. So, and now, of course, we're all over the internet, our YouTube page, everything.
Very nice. Okay. So who's interviewing you here?
On the upper right is Samantha Barrios, and on the upper left is Sam Gianfalo, the two Sams, as I like to call them. And Samantha, upper right, is the marketing person on the board with me. So she really has taken on a lot of the marketing things that I was doing originally.
And what other Sam do? What is his job?
And the other Sam is an actor.
Okay.
He is an actor, and he is a student at LMU who was in our production of Pippin.
Wow.
It was funny when we were talking about Ben Vereen, that he was in Pippin, and Samantha actually was the leading player in that show. So that's how the two of them met. That's how I met him when he first did a show, and he has done other shows since.
Now, are they? First of all, are they a couple, or they just work together? Okay.
Just work together.
Are they on the board as well, or?
Samantha is on the board. Yes.
Okay.
She's the marketing person.
Okay. Maybe I should talk to them one day.
Yeah, they're really. It's really interesting, the two of them, how they've launched this show, and it really has taken off. You know, they do the A Midsummer Night's Dream in Griffith Park.
Griffith Park, really?
Griffith Park, outdoors in Griffith Park. There's a group that's there now in the same area. We were just past that area in the bowl where the LA Philharmonic used to perform.
Wow, you look beautiful. Look at that.
Thank you. I was a little younger back then, yes.
I love it.
It was great fun. I wish I'd had my wings on. I had pink wings that went with that, but somebody snapped that. Oh yeah, yeah.
No,
I love game shows. I love game shows. This is when we went to the Price is Right. And
wow. With Bob Barker?
No, not with Bob Barker.
This was with what's his name? The Afro-American that's taken over the show?
No, I think it was this is terrible that I can't remember his name.
Oh well.
Anyway, yeah, but it was great fun. We didn't get, none of the three of us got selected to actually be on. Oh, it's funny. Shell on the far right, he's got the horns on, the big horn head like the guy wore in the. Anyway.
So,
yes. Anyway, so then this is my 50th high school reunion that we had a few years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, I like this one.
That's my favorite one. That's my current headshot. Mary McGrath, who has since moved to Florida, took this photo of me. We had just seen a play together, and we were sitting waiting for our meal to be served, and she goes, you look really pretty there. Let me take your picture.
Aww.
And I love that shot of me. I think it shows me off well.
Exactly. Okay. How did you get into the PR side? Is it because of the board, the position open? Because that's a big part of what you do for both the theater and.
It's a big part of it. I've always been a writer. Always. Okay. I've always been a writer. My mom says as long as she can remember, I was, writing things. I have a collection of my poems from high school. But when I started, and then of course I taught English and theater in high school for several years. So when I stopped teaching, I went into working in the international movie distribution at studios. I worked at Paramount. That's where this came from. I know you're a fan too. Yes, I understand. I got you.
Funny. And it's funny. Ben Vereen played LeVar Burton's father on The Next Generation.
You're right. I've forgotten that, but he did.
Star Trek everywhere.
Star Trek. In my life, everywhere. I have a whole room in my house decorated with my Star Trek stuff.
I didn't know you were that big a fan.
Oh yeah, that's what you and I first started talking about when we met, when we both were reviewing a show. You had something Star Trek on, and that's how we first got to know each other, because of Star Trek. Not even, we were reviewing too, but just the whole Star Trek thing. That's what.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were a collector as well. Oh my God. You should check out some of my other shows. I pull out some of the stuff I've been collecting over the years. But anyway, so let's look at
yeah. When I started working in international distribution of movies, that's when I started writing press releases.
Okay.
Using so that I knew how to market shows and how to speak to all the different countries differently. So that's where I really developed learning how to write to appeal to your audience.
Okay.
Studios. So, and then of course from there I moved into Westchester Playhouse and said, well, I can write press releases. I can do this.
Right. Do you do the programs too?
No, I don't. Tom Brophy is designs and puts together our programs.
Okay. So you don't do the copy and the bios and all that?
No.
Okay. I wondered about that. Okay. So let's check out this. What do we got here?
Yeah, this is my interview that was done the first on January 3rd on KP Live every Sunday night. Oh, I feel like there I am talking and I'm on the screen talking. So yes, this is being interviewed by the two Sams. Yeah,
this was for who? This is for the Kentwood Playhouse?
This is for Kentwood Players. Yeah, this is on their YouTube channel. Besides this interview show, KP Live, they also have the virtual theater series where they do short plays. They do one a month. That's the website. Yep.
This is the Kentwood Players. Any place we should, any people should look for as far as shows or virtual things?
For the virtual theater series, there under special announcements, the second one says virtual theater series continues with Together Apart. So I think if you click that, I don't know if it goes to the site or if it just, it just talks about it there. Our virtual theater series. And there's all the different plays that are on our schedule right now. I am actually scheduled to direct one coming up. It's called The Test. It's not on the schedule yet. It'll be on in June or July. And all of these plays were submitted. We put out a general call and the plays were submitted to us and selected by our plays committee and then by the board and then a director assigned. And they're done once a month. In fact, Sam Gianfalo and a few other people are our technical advisors to make sure that those get done and shown.
Okay, so, we'll get back to the web pages, but I got a question for you. Are these going to be virtual Zoom kind of productions, or they're going to film them and edit them kind of thing, or what? How are they doing it?
They are actually done on Zoom. And they are recorded live. And I can't speak to whether or not they get edited. It seems to me they just get done live and they get put up on the Players YouTube channel.
Yeah, probably if they're recorded, they can cut the mistakes out. But
they do record them because they show them first after our membership meeting to the members first, and then the following Sunday they go live to the public.
Okay, I got a proposal for you. You're the PR person for the shows, especially the one you direct. How do you feel about before they go up? Let me speak with the director, writer, if they're not the same person, and some of the cast members before it opens on its production and how it went kind of situation. So we can find out about the show. We can help you promote the show and hopefully get more, viewership that way. What do you think?
That would be great. And I know that if you want to wait till the summer and do my show, but there are other shows going up before then that I'm sure would be very happy to talk to you.
Absolutely. If they can get like the cast and the director and, I can do a little ensemble of the show, talk about the show, and then, tease us with whenever it airs. And that'll be fun. Bounce it out. I'll start tomorrow if they want to do it tomorrow. Anyway.
Okay, great. Well, I will talk to all of them. No worries.
Okay. So, where did it go? We were at here. All right. So this is anywhere else I should look regarding the Kentwood?
If you go to the auditions, and there we have any kind of auditions that we do on.
Well, you don't really have a main stage anymore, right?
No, we don't have auditions right now. No, unfortunately. But what's really fun, what I really enjoy doing this is if you go to the home page up at the top left, if
Okay.
you go to home, and then underneath where it says Vanya, Sonia, Masha, and Spike, it says more info. Click there. Okay, so these are all the pages of all our productions. If you scroll down a little bit, I think there's probably still photos there. There's cast and cast pictures. Now, a lot of these cast pictures, Gloria Plunkett took these, but a lot of cast pictures I have taken over the years while doing publicity before we had, real photographers there. So anyone can go onto the site, and if you scroll up to the top again, Lorenzo, and where it says previous show, right above now previous show, if you click there, it opens the previous show, The Giver, and then you go down and the photos are all there. So it's a way for people. I use this all the time to go back and see different shows. We can go back to the shows I'm in, and my pictures will be up here as well.
Now these are just cast pictures. There's no like video links or anything like that of the show?
There's no video links here. Any of the video links we have will be on our YouTube page. So here, yes. So this is on YouTube, Kentwood Players. And so Together Apart is our current virtual theater play showing. There's the KP Live interviews. There I am on the second one, KP Live, Shari Barrett. And they did one, Sam did one on our building update, which is what's going on. And there's all these. There's the Little Women. You were asking me about Little Women. It's in the middle there of popular uploads. That's a preview. Yeah. That's our little preview reel. Samantha has started doing preview reels of the shows. So those are now up there as well.
And that's why I think it would be great if I could interview with the cast and some of the crew before they go up. Sure. That would be fun. Yeah, this is really cool. You know what? Look, I'm going to subscribe right now.
Please.
And I'm going to do all.
Great.
You subscribe to the Geek Authority, right? Wink, wink.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Let's go to, what do we got here?
Let me see if Sam G and I wondered if
Sam what? Oh, you want to go back? Okay.
No, on that one, Sam Gianfalo was in that show. Now up at the go back up. I'm looking at the very top to see if Sam is in that shot because that's from Pippin, but I don't see him in that shot. Okay.
All right. Broadway World.
Broadway World. Yay.
And there's your picture. Yay.
There's that picture that I love. Yes, this is, if you keep going down, this page, this is my homepage on the site. And this is where everything that I've ever posted on the site can be read. It goes chronologically back. So all of my features, interviews, reviews, everything is here. And I'm always open to suggestions from people. And I tell everybody that they are welcome to send me information about their shows. And if I can now watch them online or when they're in person, or if there's I see 53 pages of interviews.
Yeah, I just saw that.
53 pages of stuff that I've written for Broadway World. So, but I really love writing, and I really love getting in touch with and talking to people who love the LA theater world as much as I do, because, people think, oh, LA, you're a movie town, but people don't realize how much theater was actually going on and will go on again once we can do that. There's as there's an incredible theater world in Los Angeles. It's just people only think of the big theaters, the Pantages, and all of that.
It varies in terms of style. I mean, there's avant-garde.
So much.
I've sat and reviewed shows in backyards when they had these little, kind of what do they call it? Immersive experiences.
Yep.
So yeah, I would like that would be awesome. So
I love
does,
immersive theater.
does Broadway world need any more writers? Wink, wink.
They always do.
Really? You'll have
They
to tell me how to
always,
do that.
they always do. They always do. And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Always. They are always looking for people. I mean, now I can't speak to it now because, there's such a slowdown. It's interesting. There are very few reviewers that I found in the city that are willing to review online theater, especially small theater, online theater. And as soon as online theater started, I jumped in.
Right.
Because to me, theater is theater. It doesn't, if you're creating characters and presenting a story, that's theater.
Right.
It started on the back of push carts, going from town to town. I mean, theater can be anywhere.
Right.
So
You must be getting a lot of invitations because I haven't seen a lot going on out there. Now, have you heard about Cine Lounge? There's a lot of outdoor movie houses popping up.
yes, there are.
I haven't seen any theaters other than virtual. And are you getting notices? How do you find out about these virtual shows?
I'm connected with a lot of publicists,
Mhm.
especially since being a publicist myself, I keep track of them so I can send them press releases when Kentwood Players is doing things. I still send things out about their virtual theater series. So I met all the big publicists and also the individual publicists that only handle a few shows. So I get everything. I mean, it's very rare a day doesn't go by that I have, 50.
Once again, if they need another reviewer, I'm happy to jump in the bandwagon.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, so listen.
Yeah.
So how somebody watching this show and listening to you, what advice would you give someone who's considering or wants to pursue it more seriously to a young actor, or young in the sense of they want to go into the process? It doesn't mean that they're kids, but they could be adults saying, I want to try this acting thing. What advice would you give?
The best thing I can do other than study is to go online, and there are so many different styles of acting, but it's really learning to leave yourself and become someone else. And that's very hard for actors. And when I taught, it was like that. I said, the minute you are backstage, you are not yourself anymore. You are the character you are playing. And I remember when I directed Raisin in the Sun at Dorsey High School, those actors, those teenagers, I told them, I said, whenever you're in my presence, I want you to be those characters. Show me Walter walking into his daughter's classroom. Don't show me you, be those characters, take them on, make them part of your soul.
Wow.
So that when you are on stage, you're not thinking about being you and acting. You're not in your head. You are coming from that character, from your soul. And the best way really I see to get involved is to look for audition notices. If
where do you go? Where do you look?
Well, I know that we have a whole section on it on Broadway World. I mean, I know there's a whole section on auditions there, and I'm sure that I know that there are audition sites posted on Facebook. I mean, they're just all over the place. Any online. I mean, if you can just go, auditions for plays and name a city, they'll come up, whatever is posted anywhere.
So basically get yourself out there, do the audition experience. Now, you might want to let them know that sometimes you're going to get rejected a lot more than you're going to.
Oh yeah, you will. And for those who are just starting out, the auditioning for one of the community theaters, and again, this is a not paid theater experience, but it's an educational experience, and you work with, I can speak for Kentwood Players, and I know Theater Palisades and the Morgan Wixon. You work in these theaters, you are working with those of us who have worked in the industry, and we are sharing our knowledge with you. That's part of the educational requirement for being a community theater. So
Right.
by auditioning for us and getting cast in a show, it teaches you more about what you're doing. We've had several actors from Kentwood Players go to New York, you know,
Wow.
and there
And
been
don't shy away from, like, if you get a role, so you get an ensemble piece or a background, whatever. If somebody says, "Hey, can you help us paint the set or build the
oh
set
yeah,
or costume?"
oh yeah, that's one of the benefits of a community theater is that you can volunteer to work on anything you like. You know, Hollister Starrett, who now is involved with several theaters on a technical aspect as well as acting, he walked into our Kentwood Kids program when he was really young and said, "Well, I don't want to act. I want to learn how to run lights and do all." And I mean, this was a kid. I don't remember how old he was, 7 years old. And he now, for quite a while now, has been running our booth, running sound and lights for our shows. He's designed the design lights for our
Wow.
shows, you know, and
Okay.
he's still a high school student now. It's not, you know, and he's now doing that at the Morgan Wixon as well. So he's
Wow.
acting. He's a very talented actor. So to see kids come in like that and get the experience working as a volunteer and being able to take that into something else later, those of us that are former teachers, it does our heart good, you know?
Absolutely. So let's flip that card around. Okay, say they want to go into the PR area, the publicity side of something. What advice would you give? You know, especially if they like the writing side and
And I've had several students reach out to me that way about it. And I just tell them, I said, first thing you have to do is really focus on the who, what, how, why, where of any production. Those are the main things you have to put into a press release. And you have to write it so that the production sells itself. There's a reason why somebody would want to come see it. That's the whole thing. You can't just talk about the facts. You have to talk about what would appeal to bring in an audience, especially if you're going after kids. You know, that's a different way to write a press release appealing to kids and their parents than, you know, a classic play. You know, there's a different style. But
right,
and I advise them, I said, you know, go online, read reviews by other reviewers, see the styles, because we all write differently. We all have different styles, how we write a review. And I usually will tell them, I said, you know, have you seen a movie recently? And all of them, of course, had seen a movie. I said, okay, so write me up something. Tell me about the movie. Tell me why I should see it, what you liked about it, and what you think. If you would change anything, what would you change?
now by when you say change, you mean like something they didn't like? How do you feel about reviews that are, you know, negative?
Critics, yes, critics. And I don't like to call myself a critic. I call myself a reviewer. Although, you know, there are people out there who will tell you, well, you acted like a critic at my show. And I go, well, you know, occasionally there are those kind of shows. I consider my role as a reviewer to sell a show, to bring people in, not to turn them away. I'm not going to, there are some critics who all they want to do is criticize a
Right.
show. All they want to do is, and I don't read those. I don't read those reviews. That's of no interest to me, telling me what's wrong with everything.
Have
It,
you have you ever been, you know, sent out to review something and you absolutely could not review the show because it was that bad?
yes,
Yeah, it happened to me twice.
yes, yes. No,
Uh,
it's happened to me more than twice. And what I do then is I will send an email to the publicist who invited me, who gave me the tickets, and just explain to them, you know, I attended the show. I'm going to do you a favor and not write a review. And here are the reasons why. And I tell them all the things that I didn't like about it. I always get thanked by them. It's
Right.
up to them if they share it with the cast or the director. But I actually have had a few directors come back to me, send me an email and thank me and say they took my advice and changed something in the show.
Right. That's
And,
happened to me. That's happened to me.
and
Actually, one show that I went real quick. They had the audience come in, and it was opening night. Blah blah blah. And then by the act two, I would say 3/4 of the audience left. I stayed because as a reviewer, I'm like, okay, maybe there's something at the end of this. But the producer came up afterwards, and he asked me, so I told him, I'm like, there's a reason there's nobody in your audience right now. So, but anyway, go on.
yes, I know. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think, as I can recall, there was only one show where I left at intermission. I just could not.
I've never done that, even of the bad shows.
You know, the person I was with, I mean, the two of us just looked at each other and we just said, you know, yeah, I think it was too early in the production. You know, they're like reviewers in the first weekend, you know, right away, like opening night. And I like doing that. I like going to opening nights, but sometimes it's better to wait till the second weekend where they're on their feet a little bit.
I totally agree. I totally agree. In fact, some shows, here's the thing, when a show's really good and I'm reviewing it, especially if it's opening night, I always say, I'd love to come see the last week of the show just to see how much better it got, because the cast and everybody gets in sync and they're you know, I haven't done it yet, but I'd love to try.
Yeah, no, I've done that. I've seen shows twice.
Yeah, there's one show, a musical I saw twice here in North Hollywood because it was so good, and my review was glowing, and they're like, and I even jokingly said on the phone, I said, I go see that show again because when do you want to come back? And I'm like, okay, I'm coming back.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, there's an online production, The Art of Facing Fear, that was up that I love so much, and I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times because
wow.
I just adored it. And they it's an international show that then was shown in different countries. So and the times that I've seen it, different actors have played the roles, and it's adapted to what's going on in the country where it's being done. So a lot of, I know. So exactly. So the United States production, you know, it changed quite a bit and dealing with everything that was going on, but it was eye-opening.
Wow. What's it called?
Eye-opening. The Art of Facing Fear.
And it's still available or not available?
We'd have to go and look. I don't know. But I have it in every single show that I write about, no matter what. Those of you on Facebook, look me up, Shari Barrett on Facebook, and go to my photos section and go to my albums. Every single show that I've done has an album there, and it has my review or my interview or my feature and all the photos that I have for the show. Wow. So The Art of Facing Fear will be there. So you can read about it, as will all my other shows.
So you were saying that getting this fix and this bug, this theater thing, it's really, if you've never seen live theater, and I can't believe there are a lot of people out there who haven't, you should give it a chance. And you don't have to go to the big, $800 seat theaters. There's a lot of, no matter what city you're in, I'm sure when the pandemic is under control, you'll find out that there's a lot of people who are doing theater, and you should go check it out. And right. Shari has been reviewing it, and Shari's been covering it, and she's a PR person, so she knows how to sell it. Not only that, she's fun, she's funny, she's beautiful. She likes Star Trek, so she's got 1,000 points right there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's your favorite Star Trek series?
Oh, TNG. Next
Generation.
Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, Will Riker.
Jonathan.
I was lucky enough to be invited on the set.
Okay.
I was working in cable TV even before I went to work at Paramount, and Beverly Crusher and Data and
Brent Spiner.
they appeared in our booth at a cable show, and out of that they invited me to come on set.
Very
So
cool.
that was very cool. That was very cool. The only thing I got to sit in was one of the little shuttles. Other than that, I couldn't, really go near too many things.
Do you want to hear some Trek trivia about me?
Absolutely.
I actually did some insert and photo doubling for Patrick Stewart around the first and second season. So I got to go on set a lot and wear the uniform and all that, but you never saw me because it was either a hand or a shoulder or whatever. Insert shots for the, when they touch buttons on the control panel.
Sure.
Yeah, that's it. But I also worked as a production assistant and stand-in photo double on Star Trek 3 and 4 with the original cast.
Ooh.
So nothing like seeing Leonard Nimoy at work. The late great Leonard Nimoy.
Late great Leonard Nimoy. I met him too, but elsewhere, not on set. And I met Patrick Stewart elsewhere. Almost everybody I've met who has appeared on Star Trek have just been nice people. Yeah.
Really, even with the feuds like George and Shatner, themselves are nice people. So, but that's just Hollywood. Anyway, so any other words of wisdom you want to tell the audience, or anecdotes, or
life has been really tough for everybody for the past year. And there's a lot of strife going on in the world right now. And I hate to think of people being alone and at home and depressed. I hate to think that you don't know how to tune into creativity online to find something that will lift your spirits and be entertaining. That's being done online. There's so much available at no charge to you. I'm a big fan of Netflix. I have to tell you, I'm a big fan of Netflix,
Do you have Disney Plus?
And Disney Plus. Yes, I watched Hamilton about 5 times.
Yeah, me too. How about
I did.
The Mandalorian?
No, I haven't tried it. I haven't done that yet. No, sorry. No, I haven't.
Oh my God.
I haven't. I'm just finishing The Crown.
Oh, that's an amazing series. But The Mandalorian season 2 finale just literally shut down Disney Plus services because of what happened. I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard?
No, I don't know.
Okay, watch it and then let's talk afterwards.
Mandalorian. When I discovered Outlander, oh my God, it was like, because I got to stream it. I really like streaming things where you can sit and you can watch 3 episodes in one night.
Absolutely.
Rather than have to, once a week.
And no commercials.
Grace and Frankie and Grace. I love that comedy with Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda. I adore that, and
it's fresh. It's funny.
It's funny,
And you have 2 classic Academy Award winners just, going at it, and it's better than a boxing match. So,
they're bringing back Sex and the City. That was one of my favorite shows as well.
I don't know how that's going to go. Remakes
we'll see. I'll miss Samantha on it, but I'm willing to give them a chance. It's like,
we did Charmed too, and that was so.
That's a show I never watched. So sorry.
The first one, the original, is pretty good, but no, they didn't get the lightning in the bottle anymore. So, but okay, cool. Shari Barrett.
Stay positive, go online, watch something that will lift your spirits, that will entertain you, be it a movie, be it a series, go on YouTube. Oh my God, there's everything you need to find on YouTube.
I know.
Right? Find the Geek Authority, find Kentwood Players, find, just any. YouTube is an amazing resource. If you need to know how to do something, how to fix something, go on YouTube and ask, and there's a video of it. Trust me.
And another thing too is there's a lot of game players out there that video games. There are videos, if you can't get somewhere or get through something or figure it out, Google it. Somebody already did it, and you do it yourself. So,
Absolutely.
I know I've done it during this lockdown. So anyway, Shari, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are fun. You are exciting. Did I mention, thank you so much for doing this for me. I tell you, I've known you for a while. Yes. And we do the same thing. We review shows. We go to theaters. You work at a theater, so you've got firsthand experience of the whole. I wish I had that, but there's nothing close to me because I'm in the Valley and they're in they're down in LAX, so it's a little drive. But anyway, thank you so much for doing this show, everybody. Like I said, check out her websites. Check out her, the Broadway World. That's where you can see a lot of her writings and reviews, all the interesting stuff she's seen, and so on. So anyway, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit that little subscribe button. Love to have more viewers. Hit the little bell too. The bell drops you an email. It'll let you know when I drop a new video, and then you can decide when you want to watch it at your convenience. Check out my other shows. I have a thing called Talk About, where we talk about different things, movies, TV shows. One episode we talked about Disneyland closing California Adventure, how we missed something we don't have anymore. And for those who are Disney fans, it was really an emotional episode. It ended up being 3 parts, so check it out. I also have the Mysterious Chamber of Collectibles, where I pull out things out of my closet, under my bed, show you what I've been collecting for so many years. And then there's the unboxing, where I get new stuff. Like Christmas time, I got a lot of new stuff. So I opened it up. You saw it. I saw it. My reactions are real for the first time. People send me stuff. So I also have my opinion, reviews, and commentary show, where I talk about like Cobra Kai and Space 1999 and all kinds of subjects. They're my opinions, so you can't attack me. I get a point of view too. Anyway, thanks again. Shari, you've been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me, Lorenzo. Glad to do it.
Absolutely. So let's say bye, everybody, and go to the show, go to a theater, look for it online. Bye, everybody.